How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Box to Box. The fixtures are coming thick and fast now. It's the first big week in the Premier League in terms of a midweek fixture off the back of a weekend fixture and another weekend fixture coming up, making it 3 fixtures in 8 days for most clubs. I'm joined by Max from YouTube channel Villa on Tour. You've probably seen him about already. Max, you all good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Not too bad. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well, I can't lie. On and off the field. Usually I'm doing well off the field and on the field. Yeah, it's up for debate. But as you can see,
Good, man.
Arsenal are
Good,
doing their
good.
thing. On the flip side, however, Max, we just spoke briefly off air. Aston Villa, unexpectedly poor start to the season. I say unexpectedly because, like I mentioned, it seems like Villa are trying to build towards something, towards, becoming, a European regular first and foremost. Why has it started so poor, in your opinion, Max?
I think it's a tough one. I think when Gerrard came in, there was a certain style there. It was nearly a year ago now, and our first game was against Brighton at home, and there was a definite lift there. There was, a clear way that we were going to play. There was a clear identity to what Steven Gerrard was trying to do. He made us hard to beat. I think that was the main thing. He made us hard to beat. We were going toe-to-toe with Manchester City's, Liverpool's, teams like that. They were struggling to beat us. But just even towards the end of last season, it kind of fell off, in which like Burnley at home and Crystal Palace at home, we just really, really struggled and it was really slow. So I think we were all kind of saying, look, get to pre-season, a couple more signings to freshen it up a little bit and we'll go again. And I think we're all very optimistic for the new season, maybe a little bit blindly because Gerrard hasn't really given us anything to go off. He hasn't got too much credit in the bank. I don't know. I just think we haven't got an identity. We look really, really clueless going forward. We lack creativity, which is mental when you've got Coutinho, Buendia, these big names in your side. So I don't know, mate. I don't know why it started so poorly.
On the transfer window, I mean, you started it quite well with Diego Carlos coming in, I believe.
Yeah. That's the main thing. I was really happy with the window in terms of getting the business done early. Coutinho on a permanent on paper is a great signing for a bargain as well. Diego Carlos, who's got a really big reputation, was brilliant in La Liga last season for Sevilla. And then Kamara, who had the likes of Atletico Madrid interested, Manchester United, and he's chosen to come to Villa. So we got them in. We all know what's happened with Carlos. He's got that potentially season-ending injury already. So the way we're going now, we've got one new signing in the starting 11. That's, in my opinion, that's not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, on Carlos, 6 months out for a new signing, and the big signing of the transfer window, coupled up with the start to the season, it's not quite as optimistic as it was a few weeks ago. On Gerrard, you mentioned, the style of play and maybe the honeymoon period when he initially came in. How much pressure is Gerrard under this season? Because, more recently, including Arsenal, teams have brought in managers for a process. I use that word because it's the buzzword going around, and things are overlooked in early periods for long-term success. Let's say with Gerrard at Villa at this moment in time, he's quite inexperienced still, although he's got a bit of credit in the bank at other clubs. He's quite inexperienced. Has he got the time at Villa, or do you need to start seeing a change imminently?
I think he's had the time. I think I'm quite a level-headed, sensible Villa fan. I like to think, I'm not out, for calling for managers' heads or anything like that before it's time. I think when Dean Smith went, I think that was about the right time. I think it had become a little bit stale and we were just in need of freshening things up a little bit. And when Gerrard came in, I was pretty happy. Like you touched on, the honeymoon period was good. We got a few decent results. But I just think he's got a very talented squad there. And I'll go back to last season where in the new year it kind of tailed off and everything went a little bit flat and we were picking up really poor results. We'd go 4 games in a row where we'd lose to sides you'd expect us to beat. And it was all very, very disappointing. So I think when Dean Smith got sacked, the CEO and things like that, their excuse was, look, it's not just this season, it's a combination of this season and last season in terms of that longer period of time. And if you do the same process with Steven Gerrard, he's got a similar record to Dean Smith in a similar amount of time. So I don't know. I think the pressure is very much on him. And I think if it doesn't pick up soon, he could be in big trouble.
Yeah, it's hard to say. On to Arsenal and Mikel Arteta, who's found himself under immense pressure in the previous 2-3 seasons. But this season started quite strongly. As always, I like to ask guests that come on, outside looking in, what do you make of it all? Not only Mikel Arteta now and the season beginning, but the whole 2-3 year period coming up to that. How did How was you looking at it 2 years ago? Was it just Arsenal fans losing it because of impatience, or did you understand why he was under pressure at times?
Of course, there's a big pressure at Arsenal. No matter what manager comes in, he's always going to be under pressure. You know, big club, big expectations to be in that top four, win trophies, whatever. I have watched the All or Nothing documentary and I found it really interesting. I think Arteta is actually a really likable character. I think he's a great boss tactically. Even what the players were saying in that documentary, he seems very switched on. He's got bright ideas. And that's someone I'd like to have at Aston Villa, to be honest, because I think that's exactly what we're lacking at the moment. But Arsenal, fair play this season, won 4 out of 4. I mean, we did that a couple of years ago. Do you know what I mean? We won our first 4 games, so you could end up finishing 11th. We shall see. But mate, fair play to Arsenal.
Warning.
They've been absolutely fantastic this season. They have, and especially what happened last season with a very difficult start there. They picked up. And mate, I've put my money on Arsenal finishing in the top 4 because I think they're one of the strongest sides in the league this season for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you said you won the first 4 a couple of years ago. Arsenal haven't won the first 4 since the 04-05 season. So it's been a lot longer than a couple of years for us. So you could imagine how and why we were in good spirits. But I also agree with you. It's still very early days, similar to last season. We lost the first 3 games, 0 point, but we were still a game or 2 off top 4 in the end. So we can't, nothing's done yet. It's only 4 games into the season. Optimistic about the clash this week? This week.
No, not at all, mate. I think, do you know what though? A couple of years ago, I remember when we needed a win desperately to stay up, and Arsenal came to Villa Park and they'd just come off beating Man City, I seem to remember, and they came to Villa Park and a horrible, poor Villa side beat them 1-0. So who knows what could happen? But on paper, I think this is going to be a massively tough game. I think just Arsenal, the confidence is flowing. The Emirates, the atmosphere there seems to be brilliant, which we haven't seen in the last 5-10 years. It seems to be absolutely rocking down there. So it's going to be a really hard place to go. And I think Villa are going to struggle. I think you see the first 5-10 minutes of any Villa game, you know what Villa side's going to turn up. And this season, it's been a poor one. Like I touched on earlier, we lack creativity, which, considering the players we've got in the side is a bit mad. We just defensively as well, the Diego Carlos injury, Steven Gerrard got him in to solve that defensive problem. He identified that as a big problem, centre-back, got in a £30 million player, and we've lost him for the majority of the season. So defensively as well, 4 games in, we've had 4 different centre-back partnerships, which is just bizarre. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a tough one, mate, and I think we could struggle on Wednesday.
If hypothetically speaking, if you were to pull out a win, what players need to have a big game for you guys? Because so far this season, 4 games played, 1 win, and that was the home win against Everton. Away from home, lost to Bournemouth 2-0, lost to Crystal Palace 3-1. 2 clubs we've actually beaten so far this season. But who needs a big game on Wednesday for you to have any chance?
Whether he'll start or not, I'm not sure. But I think Coutinho, on the whole, needs to step up 100%. I think he's very much hot and cold. Last season when he came in, on his debut, goal and assist against Man United at Villa Park, which is brilliant. But he'll have these games, especially this season, where he's completely off the boil, goes missing. To be fair, on the weekend against West Ham, he was on the ball a little bit more. But again, the little flicks aren't quite coming off for him. So whether one day against whoever it might be, he'll have a blinder and all these little flicks and things will come off, I'm not sure. But I think he needs to step up for sure. Going forward as well, Danny Ings, Ollie Watkins, it's just not quite clicking. And whether that's down to the system, I'm not sure. Ollie Watkins likes to run down the channels, but as soon as he gets there doesn't seem to be any plan. Midfield, there's no runners. I think midfield is on the other end of the spectrum is the biggest problem. Kamara, to be fair, he's been our standout player this season, but he doesn't have that support because Gerrard relies so heavily on the fullbacks. Luka Dean probably had the most touches on the weekend against West Ham. Matty Cash as well. They bomb so far forward. And he likes to have the central midfielders cover at fullback, which leaves Kamara so exposed in the midfield, which is a big worry against Arsenal away for sure. So I think going forward, we need to step up defensively. I think we were better against West Ham, but there's still concerns there. So I think going forward, we just need to ignite that creativity.
On a personal note, Emi Buendia, how have you seen his time so far at Villa? Because obviously back in the summer window last year, it was well documented that Arsenal made a bid and Villa made a bigger bid. Arsenal didn't come back in and you got your man. Outside looking in, it didn't seem like he had a great first season. But I've spoken to some Villa fans who do like him. What do you think?
He's very much a fan favourite, and I agree. I'm a big Emi Buendia fan. I think he's something that we don't have. I think he was something when we brought him in that we were massively lacking. He's got that creativity. He's got that something different. He's got that eye for a pass. And like I said, that's something we were massively missing. I just think it's that game time that he hasn't had, and that is overall due to Coutinho coming in. We know that Steven Gerrard is a big Coutinho fan. When he came in January, it was Coutinho. Buendia was struggling to get in that side, which I think Villa fans were struggling to compute with. I think it was a massive shame because I think, yes, Coutinho's this £140 million man, but on the face of it, if you compared Coutinho's and Buendia's performance, you wouldn't be able to tell that Coutinho's had this class career and, you know, he's that type of player, because Buendia's up there for me. And the Everton game is a prime example. Coutinho started that at Villa Park, failed to, you know, impress, and Buendia came on, absolutely changed the game, got a goal. I don't know. I'd like to see Buendia start against Arsenal, but to be honest, I think it might be Coutinho.
And obviously that summer we got our man in Odegaard and we played the waiting game and got him over the line. He's had a great couple last games, man of the match last time out. But Jesus has hit the ground running. Zinchenko, he was out injured last game, but he's hit the ground running. We've got Saka, Martinelli. Looking at Arsenal now, Max. Who do you think you need to keep quiet in order to be able to pull out a win or pull out a point from the Emirates?
I watched that game against Fulham at the weekend, and I thought Odegaard was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely ran the show. I think he's an absolute level above, and I think he's the type of player who could cause us massive problems when on Wednesday. I think, like I touched on, that midfield is such an issue that we could just get overrun there. And I think, like you mentioned, Martinelli, Saka as well, they could tear us apart because, like I touched on, the full-backs love to bomb forward, which, you know, creates that space down the wings. Saka, big fan of him. I really think he's a player who could cause us problems. So down the wings, I could see an issue. And in the past couple of years, you might have lacked that man in the middle to finish off the chances. But Jesus has had a very decent start to the season. A little bit quiet against Fulham, I thought, but he's that player who can create something from nothing. So I think there's a lot of players to keep an eye on at the week against Arsenal. But yeah, there's a lot to worry about from a Villa perspective.
And it's a welcome change from, you know, last season and seasons gone past before, because there was a lot of pressure on Saka last season. When I asked this question week in, week out, the common answer used to be Saka. Saka's the one we had to keep quiet. Now it seems like we've got a few, you know, assets up front that can cause problems and threats to the opposition, which for us is great. Before we get into predictions, Max, in terms of the season, what's a good season for you? Where do you want to see Villa finish? Is it coupled with a cup run?
If you asked me this in pre-season, I would have said Europe, and that's purely based down to the facts that that's what the club have sold to us. Every interview that the players do, the CEO does, you know, the manager does, it's Europe this and Europe that. It's all about Europe, and that's what we're striving for. But I just can't see that now. I think a top half finish would be decent. I think, look, we came 14th last season. 10th, 11th this season doesn't, you know, it's not flattering on paper, but you'd probably take that. And then, you know, we go again the following season, whether that's under Gerrard or not. I think it's tough to say now, though, with this start. I really do. Like you touched on, I'd love a cup. I think last time Villa won a major trophy was in 1996. That was before I was born. I've never seen Villa win a trophy. So, look, I'd love to see us do well in the Carabao Cup. We've been drawn against Man United, which we seem to get drawn against every single year. But, mate, I'd love it. FA Cup. I don't want to talk about the FA Cup on an Arsenal channel after what happened in 2015. But, yeah, I'd love a cup. I absolutely would.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I guess a top half finish from where you are now. Gerrard making Villa some sort of a unit in terms of a playing style. So next season, if we were to talk, you know what your playing style is. That would be a positive season from here. Max, as always, we end with predictions. Arsenal Villa, Emirates Stadium, 7:30 p.m. kickoff Wednesday night. What are you going with?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, it would be typical Villa and it would be typical Arsenal for Villa to win 1-0, but I can't see it. That's the optimist in me. I'll go 3-1 Arsenal. I think it was the same scoreline last season, was it? When we got consolation towards the end, Jacob Ramsey. Yeah. I can just see a 3-1 Arsenal. I think we'll struggle. It's one of the toughest places to go in the league this season. And then we've got Man City on Saturday as well. So these two games here, you're looking at 0 points. Is that negative from me? I don't know. That's purely based on what I've seen already this season. We've struggled against your Bournemouth, Everton's, Crystal Palaces. So Arsenal and Man City doesn't fill me with confidence. I'll go 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1. And listen, the viewers already know. As soon as you said 3-1, they're probably thinking Turkish. The first 4 game weeks, Max, I've gone with 3-1 Arsenal wins every single time. We haven't managed it. I haven't pulled one out the bag, but we keep on getting the W. So again, I'm going to go with a 3-1. Villa obviously have the quality and players to cause problems. I'd love nothing more than a clean sheet, but it is what it is. I think 3-1. And yeah, we'll keep it moving. Max, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, Villa on Tour on YouTube. I do match day vlogs and things like that, so you get the full match day experience on my channel. I'm sure it'll be a good one for Arsenal fans to watch after Wednesday evening, but we shall see. Yeah, Villa on Tour on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Check it out.
There you go, people. I'm going to tag Villa on Tour in the title. I'm going to put everything else in the description below. Go show some love to Max over there. He's close to 50K. So if we can get him to 50K, that would be great, people, because I have gone through his channel and there is, listen, he's going to be away at the Emirates Stadium. There's a lot of fans that would like to see what that looks like. So go over there and check it out after the game on Wednesday. And hopefully we get the W. So it's happy days over here. Max, thanks for coming on, my guy. We'll touch it up again later on this season at the reverse.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Up the Villa.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Take care. Love for the love, people. Hit the like button and give us your thoughts, predictions, and so on in the comment section.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.